Welcome to Zoom In, Zoom Out, your global look at news from Taiwan. I'm Alec MacDonald. Earlier in December, the Taiwan Space Agency TASA has signed an agreement with its Polish counterpart POLSA. The agreement will allow for space collaboration in satellite capabilities and telecommunication, as well as Earth imaging. Today, to further discuss Taiwan and Poland's collaborations in space technology and beyond, we're joined by Marcin Jaskula, a senior advisor at the Taiwan-Poland Chamber of Commerce. Marcin, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Alec.
So let's zoom in on Poland for a second and talk a little bit about Poland's space program. What are some of your big achievements in the past year or two for Poland's space program?
So last year have been very exciting for us with our first domestically developed satellite being launched into the orbit called Eagle Eye. Poland at the moment, because of the conflict in Ukraine, is looking very tightly on developing our indigenous satellite constellation, mostly SAR constellation for synthetic aperture radar. These types of satellites are used mostly for surveillance and for military purposes. As the Ukraine conflict has shown, these capabilities, they have to be in the hands of one's government.
Can you talk a little bit about the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, between Taiwan Space Agency and Poland Space Agency?
So the MOU between the Taiwanese Space Agency, TASA, and the Polish Space Agency, POLSA, lays the ground for fostering both countries' relationship in the space sector. It gives us and our companies a platform for engagement with very clearly predefined sectors and pillars of this cooperation, which is the space propulsion technologies for space launchers and satellites, the space situational awareness, and also the Earth observation technologies and downstream services.
There's already a mature ecosystem in Europe for some of these systems. So what is Poland looking to achieve outside of the continent? And why Taiwan? Why look outside the continent to Taiwan for such an agreement?
Poland is a very active participant in all the European Space Agency programs currently, and our companies keep very, very busy in order to meet the requirements and the demand from European Space Agency. However, obviously, these kind of relationships can be moved outside of the scope of ESA as well. Taiwan, obviously, at the moment is heavily investing in its space program. Taiwan lacks several capabilities that Poland can put on the table and help Taiwan to build a successful space program here.
Can you share a little bit about the propulsion technology or other technologies that Taiwan and Poland are working to collaborate on?
European companies are particularly focusing on green propulsion systems. Green meaning green fuels and green applications and reusable components. So at the moment, we can offer to Taiwan one of our best green fuels, which is the hydrogen peroxide, a very, very pure one.
With propulsion systems come rockets and rocket launches. Taiwan currently does not have capabilities to launch rockets domestically. Is this something that TASA is hoping to provide in the next coming years?
Poland and Taiwan are in the similar space at the moment when it comes to rocket technologies. They both do suborbital rockets. However, in Poland at the moment we have reached a milestone recently with sending one of our suborbital rockets to 100 kilometers using nitrogen peroxide as a propellant. So this is something that TASA is looking at currently, and we feel like next year might be the year of first tests being conducted here in Taiwan using our hydrogen peroxide.
So this is a good opportunity to pivot to TASA 2024. It was an event held in early December, and there was multiple exchanges between Poland, Taiwan, the UK and Taiwan, and many, many businesses there. What was Can you reflect a little bit about that and share maybe some of the more exciting things that came out of TASA 2024?
So I was a little bit disappointed that only Poland and Britain participated, as part of their national pavilions. However, this conference, this trade show is only 2 years old, and it grew a lot since last year because, as far as I'm concerned, only 25 companies exhibited last year. This year it was more than 90. So obviously the growing trend is there, and we feel that this TASTI can become the largest such an exhibition, trade show and conference in the whole region in the very, very near future.
One thing that has been discussed in Taiwan is developing telecommunications systems for in the incidents that undersea submarine cables are cut and Taiwan does not have ready communications outside of the island. Is this something that Poland can help Taiwan achieve?
Taiwan, as you rightly mentioned, will have to build their own indigenous capabilities in terms of LEO satellites, lower orbit satellites for communication purposes. Obviously, Taiwanese government have decided not to rely on Starlink or other such systems for their connectivity purposes. So there's a program well underway for indigenous LEO satellite capabilities. So what we can offer to Taiwan at the moment is the propulsion systems for the correction of satellites already in the orbit. So this is something that we see a huge potential in working with Taiwan.
Is Taiwan looking at launching their own satellites from Taiwan domestically? Is this something that will be discussed in the future?
Indeed, Taiwan is working on their own launch program at the moment. Currently, there is a debate on which sites to choose for the space launching platform. And Taiwan is very actively pursuing these programs. It's good to have your own launch capabilities in case of a conflict scenario or in case of a failure of your allies to be able to help you when you really need them.
Taiwan is known for developing many space components that already go into satellites, but these are smaller components that do not compose the entire propulsion systems or other systems, but they are still essential for putting satellites and rockets into space. How can Taiwan help Poland in this arena?
Taiwan, because of its very, very strong semiconductor industry, is already a very, very important player in the entire supply chain of components. Taiwan supplies not only semiconductors for space applications, but also satellite components used in payload systems, communication modules, sensors, and so on and so forth. Taiwan is also very, very advanced in specialty materials, composites, and can significantly contribute to other countries' space programs in this domain. As I mentioned, sensors and components, and these small things that make up the entire system or payload. Yeah.
Let's zoom out now. Can you describe the state of relations between Taiwan and Poland?
All-time high by far. We see a very, very good engagement between our nations. The foreign minister's recent visit to Poland is definitely a highlight of this growing and tightening relationship. Obviously, the war in Ukraine has caused us to work closely in terms of providing the humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. So Poland and Taiwan, Taiwan and Poland are absolutely like-minded partners. We share the same values. It's absolutely crucial for us to have a free society, a freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. Both of our democracies are very, very strong. During the first months of the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, Taiwan has opened up their warehouses of critical gear and products, medical-related products to Poland. So we as TAIPO, our Chamber of Commerce, have helped to organize shipments of medical supplies from Taiwan to Poland. To express our gratitude to Taiwan, Poland has donated 400,000 vaccines to Taiwan. We were the third biggest donor after Japan and the United States. So this was obviously very well received here in Taiwan.
Can you talk a little bit about the shared values between Taiwan and Poland that have allowed them to become partners in providing humanitarian aid for Ukraine?
As you know, Poland has played a very important role being a logistics hub for all the military and aid deliveries to Ukraine. All the planes and all the cargo ships and deliveries have to go through Poland, so then Polish authorities can send them to Ukraine, because there's simply no other way of doing this at the moment. So Taiwan obviously has been very supportive, with several donations being made to the Ukrainian cities, in particularly in the cities that Taiwanese cities have had, bilateral cooperation and relationship with. Taiwan also donated a significant aid in terms of cash donations. Poland has played an active role as a middleman between Taiwan and Ukraine, and we hope to play this role in the future, because one day the war will be over and Ukraine will have to be rebuilt. So I see a huge potential for also Taiwanese government, Taiwanese companies to participate in the rebuilding of Ukraine after the war.
Looking to a slightly different area, what is the trade relationship right now between Taiwan and Poland?
So this is something that we as the Chamber of Commerce are trying to improve, because the trade imbalance is in favor of Taiwan. It's around 1-8 favoring Taiwan. Our biggest exports at the moment are machineries, chemicals and food products. It is our aim this moment to promote the high-tech industries that Poland can offer to Taiwan. As the Chamber, we are particularly focusing on several key pillars, which is semiconductors, AI, space and defense, medtech, biotech and education. As you know, many Taiwanese students graduate from Polish medical school every year, dentists and doctors, and they come to Taiwan and practice medicine. So this is one of the long-standing cooperation fields that we have had with Taiwan. At the moment, because of our growing economy, we are a so-called tiger economy in Europe, and we feel like maybe Poland was not known to an average Taiwanese person as a high-tech country, but we are becoming one.
There was discussion about a semiconductor plant potentially in Poland as TSMC semiconductor fab in Poland. Is this something that the Chamber of Commerce would like to see in the future?
So we are currently engaged with several key players in the semiconductor industry about their potential investment plans in Poland. As far as I know, TSMC does not have a plan to build a fab in Poland yet. Their decision might change. At the moment, they have started construction of their fab in Dresden, Germany. So Poland's strategy is to become one of the 3 points in the triangle between Germany, Czech Republic and Poland. And we would like to play a more important role in this industry. European Chips Act also plays a very, very critical role here. Europe is trying to lessen their dependency on semiconductors made in Asia. So there's been great investment made by the EU to attract these sort of projects into the European Union. And Poland, having such a fantastic location, is absolutely a place worth considering for a potential fab investment.
For my final question, can you share a little bit about Poland's vision for artificial intelligence?
We are playing a very, very important role in this AI revolution, and we feel like our companies and our scientists can definitely cooperate with their Taiwanese counterparts, and we as a chamber are actively focusing on this area of collaboration, and we will be bringing more and more delegations from Poland to Taiwan to foster partnerships in the AI domain.
Marcin, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your insights on our show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This has been Zoom In, Zoom Out. For more stories from TaiwanPlus News, you can follow us on social media. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.